Continue here. So ultimately, in these sessions, my plan is to let me start again, because I want to record this session to upload it for offline viewing. So let me go ahead and put this. Let me kind of start over. Let me kind of start over and see how this works. All right, let me kind of start over, because I need to record this, so I'm going to start over. Yeah, let me do that. Okay, so what we are doing here is, now this Bari basics, as I said earlier, is in my hometown. My mother tongue is Kannada, in which Bari is something simple, something which is bare bones. That is where I get the word Bari basics. So what I'm trying to say here is, I would like to go ahead and teach the very, very, very basics of programming, so that someone who has no prior experience of any kind should be able to follow through these sessions and pick up essential, I'm talking the most essential programming concepts, and then be able to build a simple app. That is the purpose of these sessions. That is the purpose of my textbook, which is coming up on the screen right now. Okay, so this is what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to build a textbook and then complement the textbook with these live video sessions, so that someone with zero knowledge of programming can come in and then learn development of software. Now, when you talk about programming, when you talk about software development, you have an unlimited choice of languages. You have so many languages. You obviously may have heard of C, you may have heard of C++, Java, C#, and so on and so forth. There are many languages. Swift in iPhone. Now, for me, what I want to do is, when I look at programming, when I look at building something, I always feel good, I always feel happy when I am building something and I can see it live immediately. So let's say I want to just add two numbers. So I write a code to add two numbers. I should be able to go ahead and see the output immediately. That's one thing. And second, I should be able to share what I have built to my, say, friends, classmates, family members, and so on. So I want to be able to learn something where, as I'm learning, I should be able to do something, and then I should be able to see it and share it. Now, when I looked at all the programming languages, I am a developer, I'm a multi-platform developer. I can code in a number of languages. If you see my website, it has my developer profile. It'll give you a lot of details, or my LinkedIn profile. It'll give you a lot of details about what all I have done. But of all the languages, of all the platforms, I felt that web programming, web app development is a good choice, for someone to kind of come in with no knowledge whatsoever and pick up these basic skills. And the best thing I like about web programming, the best thing I like about web app development is whatever you're building, you could be building a simple page which just has some sentences. You can immediately show that to your friends. You can immediately show that to your parents. So like, okay, you know what, I am building something and I can show it. See, if you are doing something in C or C++ and so on and so forth, it takes a lot of effort. One, you need to learn, it takes a lot of effort. The software and developer tools that you need, again, you need to get them set up, you need to configure them and all that. But with web programming, you don't have that headache. Okay, and as the sessions progress, I'm going to talk about the many tools we use. They're all pretty straightforward. Okay, so when I want to learn something basics, if whenever students come to me and tell me, you know what, they want to learn the basics, something which they can show, like a school project or a hobby project and something like that, I always recommend them that they go ahead with web app development using programming languages and concepts like HTML, CSS, JavaScript. That's it. Okay, that is what my textbook is going to cover. The basics of HTML, the basics of CSS, and the basics of JavaScript. Even in this, we are only going to touch the surface. We are not going to go deep into it. We are not going to go deep into any of these topics. We are only going to learn just enough to build a simple web app. Okay, that is what I am planning to do here in this textbook, in these sessions. So if you are a absolute beginner, then these sessions are for you. I'm gonna this session is done live, and I'm gonna record this session as well, and then I'm gonna upload this to YouTube and make it available for download on my website and all that. So, but still, if you already know web programming, maybe you took a course, and the thing is not just you taking a course, you should be able to build something. Okay, if you can do that, then this class is not for you. Now, this is for you if you are a completely fresher person, and maybe you have gone through like a web programming course, but somewhere in your heart you feel like, okay, you're not confident that you can actually build something. So then also this class is for you. Okay, so I hope I have explained who this class is for, who this textbook, this is the textbook I'm working on. Say this is the textbook I'm writing. Just bringing it up on the screen right now. So you should be able to see this. The link is here. Okay, I'm gonna put the link in the chat. I don't think I'll be able to do the chat. Okay, I can't put link on chat right now, but yeah, so the link is right there. I'm gonna put it on my PowerPoint. Yeah, so let me come here. Yes, there we go. Hey, come on. Let me put that link here. So that is the link for our whole training hub, and let me go ahead and put the link for the tutorial as well. Yeah, there you go. That is the tutorial. Let me make this text a little bigger. I'm not very good with PowerPoint. I'm really sorry about this. I rarely use it. So yeah, there you go. I made it as big as I can. So this is our learning hub. This is like a one-stop entry point where you'll find everything, our blog posts, tutorials, videos, live sessions, everything. And this is the website of our main textbook. This is what we're using as a basis for our classes. So before I go ahead and explain what is the basics, what is my definition of basic, okay, before I go ahead and explain, because one person's basic can be another person's advanced, and another person's advanced can be one more person's basic. So there's always a confusion with these words. What is basic? What do I mean when I say I'm going to teach the basics? All right, so before I go on, so far was I clear? Or if you have any questions, you please type it in on the chat box. I think right now Navya is the only person who's able to hear me without any problems. So Navya, let me know if so far everything was clear. If you have any questions, type it in. I know you have a question there. I'll answer that in a minute. But do you have any other questions, or if everything so far I said is clear? Do let me know. There is a delay between me saying something and the chat, so please go with it. It is a live session, but there is a delay of I think I don't know how much delay is. I think it's 3 seconds or something, 3 seconds or 10 seconds. So I'm just gonna wait for Navya to let me know that so far what I said, it kind of makes sense, and I can go to the next part. And if anyone else is able to watch this without any buffering issues, please type in your questions if you have. If not, I'm just gonna wait for Navya, and then Tawfiq is able to hear. Okay, all right, good. Navya, can you just let me know if it's clear so far, or if you have any questions? You have one question. I'm gonna answer that in a minute. I'm just gonna wait for Navya to clear because she's the one who has continuous without no buffering issues and so on. Just waiting on her. Maybe she is not in the class. Yes. Okay. Perfect. All right. Okay. Now, before I answer the question which Navya had, which is what is the minimum qualification, first I would like to make it clear what is basics according to me. Okay. Now, for that, I'm going to show and also speak. Now, here I have built a very simple website. Now, let me open that website here. Okay. There we go. So this is my website. Okay, on the right side you see a website which I have built. Okay, now this is a website which uses very basic concepts of HTML. You can see that it is mobile optimized. For example, if I go here to web developer and if I say responsive design, you can see here that I can change it to, I can see how it looks on the iPhone 6. Okay, so it changes size accordingly. On the iPad it looks like this, and if I go out of this responsive design, it covers the entire website. So it is a responsive web app, a very simple web app. And then in this web app I have an option to go ahead and register a new account. I have an option to sign in with a username and password. I think I'm already signed in, so it's saying it's signed in, so I should be able to sign in with an account that I've created. And I have an option here, so let me go ahead and sign in. I think the password should come in. Let me just get the password here. 1 second, let me just get the password. Now this is just a test account, so it's okay if you see the password, don't worry about it. This is something called Postman on the screen right now. Now I'll be teaching how to use Postman. Again, only the basics, only the basics. So I'll be teaching how to use Postman in these sessions. It is part of my textbook. So let me just get the account details here. So this is the username. I thought I saved it on Firefox, but for some reason it has forgotten it. So let me go ahead and log in here. All right, let's see. Yeah, there you go. It's logged in. Perfect. The email address is here. So there you go. So I was able to log in with a username and password, and I got the details from Postman, which is something I'll explain in the classes, in the upcoming classes. And once we are logged in, when you talk about API servers, that is another thing which we're going to discuss in these classes. Again, only the basics. So we should be able to do the basics. CRUD. We call it CRUD. You may have heard of it in your computer classes. If you have never heard about CRUD, that's okay. I'm going to explain what is CRUD in the context of software development. Okay. So we should be able to create new data. We should be able to read new data. We should be able to update data, and we should be able to delete data. And if you're able to do these 4 things with an API server, now you may be asking a question, what is this API server? Again, we are going to talk about it. Only the basics, but we are going to spend a lot of time talking about the API server. So now for example, let me just show here. Now if I go to read, I said CRUD. R is read. So there's something called read here. If I go on this, see it's loading. Look at that. See it said here. Okay, so this information was loaded from the API server, reading data from the API server. Okay, that is one part of CRUD, and that's it. That's it. If you, as a developer, okay, now this is where I'm going to answer the question: who is this training for? Okay, this is where you get to decide: are these classes for you or not for you? Now, if you can, this website is available here. Let me put the link here on my. Let me go ahead and put this link here on the screen. 1 second. Okay, so there you go. That is the link. Okay, I think I should make it a little smaller. It's too big, I think. Let me just make it a little small. Okay. So this is the website where this basic web app is running. The link is here, and this link is available in the textbook also. Okay, if you can build this website where you know how to write a code where you know how to write a code, where you talk to the API server and you know how to register an account. And then once you register the account, you know how to sign in using that account with the API server, register with the API server, sign in with the API server. And then of course you do the CRUD, create data, C for CRUD, C, create data on the API server, read data from the API server, update data on the API server, delete data from the API server. And you can do all this and also make sure that your website looks cool. I mean, I'm not saying this is like the greatest website built. It's very simple. I've used simple colors, simple font, and the best thing is, it is responsive. See, nicely sits in the center. It doesn't look beautiful, but it doesn't look ugly also. For example, if I go here, if I try to read, see, all the information is nicely available. It looks nice, it looks simple, it loads. For example, I don't know if you know this, while it is loading, it gives a small message saying that it is doing some loading. It's very hard to look at that. It says API call was success. I see it went away. So simple loading text. When it's doing some work, it says, okay, I'm loading the information. And when it's done with the information, it says, okay, I finished doing it. And then it says, okay, you know what, I'm waiting for you. What do you want to do next? Simple user interface. So if you can build a simple user interface, and if you can talk to the API server to create an account, if you can talk to an API server to sign in with the account, and if you can talk to the API server to do CRUD, and make it like this, look simple, but it is not beautiful or something, but it is responsive, so it looks good on your mobile phone. It looks good on your iPad, it looks good on your iPhone, it looks good on your Android phone, it looks good on your Dell laptop, HP laptop, iMac, whatever you have. It should work fine. So if you can build this, that means you're already a basic web app developer. If you cannot build it, that means you are not yet a basic web app developer, and that is what I am hoping to do in these sessions. That is what my textbook is hoping to do. It is going to teach you how to build this. This is it. This is what we are going to build. What you see on the screen, that's it. It's a very, very simple website. Okay, this is all I'm going to teach. So there you go. That is my plan. I'm going to teach you how to build this, which is why. Now to answer Navia's question, what is the minimum qualification? Now the minimum qualification is, anyone who is about to start college or finished college. I'm talking, +2 if you're from India. If you're in US, Europe, then maybe high school, after high school, or first and second year after college, maybe in the age group of 18 to 20, or anybody who is beyond 18, beyond 20. Who is about to start a career in software development and is not sure where to go, because and again, I'm not saying that this is like the ultimate tutorial or anything like that. Not at all. Okay, you look at this website, it looks very simple. That's what I'm trying to do. And there are a lot of other websites who do the same thing, and I'm doing the same thing, but in my own style. Okay, and whatever you see here, I myself don't do much of this stuff. I know the basics of web programming, but most of the things I build for on the cloud. I build backend servers, I build iPhone apps, I build Android apps, web apps. Today people mostly build web apps using things like, you may have heard of React.js, Vue.js, jQuery maybe. Those are the things people will use. So my job is not to teach you those advanced things. My task here is, you know nothing, you go through these classes, you go through this textbook, and when you finish all these textbook, finish going through the textbook, finish going through my code, finish going through my classes, you can build what you see on the screen, a very simple web app which does 4 things. Item number 1, API server, register the account. Item number 2, API server, log in using the username and password. Get a token. We'll talk about token. Third, do the CRUD, C-R-U-D, with the API server. Last, and very important, make it responsive. Responsive means the website should look good on mobile phones, on desktop, on tablet, small phone, big phone, any phone, big screen, small screen, Windows computer, Mac computer, it doesn't matter. It should look good like this. This is what I'm going to teach, and that is why it's called Bari basics programming, the very, very core basics. Okay, so this is what my agenda is. Now I want to spend a little bit more time thinking about some more topics, tools and other things before I wrap up this session. So before I continue, I'm just going to check. I don't know if Tawfiq is still on the line here, if he's able to watch me. I'm sure Navia is able to watch me. So if you have any questions, please type it in. Otherwise, you tell me it's all clear and I'll continue. So just waiting for someone to say it's clear or type any questions before I continue. Tawfiq, go ahead. There is a small delay, folks. I'm sorry about it. I'm not sure if there's anything that can be done about it. Please go ahead. Oh, I can type, yeah. Go. Guys, if you have any questions, you can just type. You don't have to wait for me. You can just type while I'm doing the video, so I can just read it when it comes. Right, Tawfiq. So, okay, I got your question. I'm answering it now. So, see, that's the thing, Tawfiq. So, what I'm doing here is, see, one of the things I'm focusing here in my classes and my textbook is, you said something about VW and VH and CSS. See, what I am doing here is I don't want to break my head worrying about these things. So in these sessions, in this textbook, I'm going to completely bypass the whole CSS headache. So what I do is, and you can see the results on the screen, I built it with whatever I know. What I have done here is I am going to go ahead and directly use Bootstrap. I'll not break my head about CSS. I don't care about how exactly I got this in CSS. What I do is I take a very simple, quick shortcut. I use Bootstrap, and Bootstrap takes care of all this for me. It's like outsourcing. So that way I can focus on building the web app instead of worrying endlessly about CSS. So I'm sidestepping it. That is what I'm doing. In fact, I don't even know. I mean, I know what view window and view height is, but in this training, in this classroom, we don't care about it. Why? Because we have a friend called Bootstrap, and Bootstrap is going to take care of it. Okay, so let me know if that answers your question, what you just asked. Okay, meanwhile, while I'm waiting for Tawfiq to reply, anyone has any questions, you don't have to wait for me to ask. If you have a question, you can just type in the question. Because like I said, there is a significant amount of delay between the video. I'm not sure how to fix it, but I think it's like 5 or 10 seconds. between me speaking and that showing up on your screen. So I'm just going to wait for Tawfiq to say if that addresses his question. And other people, if you have any questions, let me know. Let me see. I'm just waiting for Tawfiq to give me the green signal before I go ahead. Next, I just want to talk about the main tools we are going to use in this training. Main tools and topics, and then wrap up the session. We'll go into each topic in detail in the next session. Okay, just waiting to see if I think Tawfiq may have probably it's buffering and stuff. He did say that is happening, so we'll just wait for him. Meanwhile, let me just check with Navya. Navya, you asked a question, minimum qualification to learn about this. Let me know if I was able to answer that question, and if that was okay, if that was fine. And while I wait for Tawfiq to let me know if that was okay, let's see. I'm just checking to see on LinkedIn if anyone has any questions or things like that. No, it's cool. Just waiting on Tawfiq and Navya to confirm if I can continue. Okay, I think they might be replying. So I'm gonna go to the next part of the video. So now I would like to answer the next question. So what are the, now when I say basics of programming, now I have a web app on the screen. So what are the different things I used to get this website? So and those are the things that will be covered in this entire tutorial. All right, so that is what I would like to go ahead and explain. So one thing is, in terms of programming technologies, in this tutorial we will be using and we'll be talking a lot of basics about HTML, some amount of CSS. I was just explaining to Tawfiq over there with the question of his, we use a little bit of CSS, just enough to get some basic styling going on in our web pages, but mostly we learn just enough CSS so that we can use Bootstrap. Okay, I'm very heavily reliant on Bootstrap. Bootstrap is a ready to use CSS library which comes with a lot of cool features, you know, because I am not an expert in CSS. And also as I work, I've been working for 8 years, what I found out is Bootstrap does almost everything you want to do. So when we talk about CSS, when we talk about Bootstrap in our sessions, we will talk about it more. So we're going to learn and discuss about HTML. We're going to learn and discuss about CSS. Just put that here on the screen. So we're going to learn about, one second. Let me see, 1 second. Sorry. Yeah, we're going to learn about different concepts. We're going to learn about HTML. We're going to learn about CSS. But mostly we're going to learn about CSS just enough to pick up Bootstrap. So we'll spend some time on Bootstrap, and finally we are going to learn the essentials of JavaScript. Okay, now these are the basic things we are going to use. We are not going to go outside of these essential concept. That's it. I'm not going to use React. I'm not going to use jQuery or any JavaScript library. Whatever I'm going to do, I'm going to use with these things. Navya has a question. I'll answer it in a minute. So these are the 4, 1, 2: HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, and JS. These are only 4 things. You know, I think I would like to call them the fundamental of web app development. So this is what we're going to discuss in the textbook. Now this is the programming concepts or programming languages we are going to use. Now along with this, there are additional topics which we will definitely cover, which we have to. We're going to spend some time talking about responsive design, mostly in terms of how to use Bootstrap to get this. That is what we're going to talk about in terms of responsive design. And second thing, we are going to spend a lot of time talking about API servers. Now for me, one thing which I always get a little worried about programmers is when they say that they are programmers. Every time, anytime a student comes in, or anytime I have to do a job interview or something for clients and so on, especially for freshers or interns, I ask them a simple question. If they say they are an Android app developer, I ask them, okay, I will give you an API server. I have my own API server which I have built for this class. I'll talk about this. That's one of the topics. If I give you the API server, can you build an app for it? And if they say yes, then yes, they are app developers. So the problem is, a lot of times what I see is a lot of people learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript, C#, Java, and all this, but somehow, sometimes, many times, they forget about learning how to consume API servers. The thing is, if you are not able to consume an API server, then it is very difficult for you to build any kind of app, because today, as things stand, ever since the iPhone was created, every app, whether it is built using Swift as an iPhone app, or Java as an Android app, or a web app which can run on all platforms, you must know how to consume an API server. Otherwise you can't build anything, because every company, every service, everything uses API servers. You cannot escape it anymore. You've not been able to escape it for years. Now it's impossible. So I'll be spending a lot of time talking about API servers, okay, and why they are important, how they look, and so on. So I'm going to talk about API servers. Now when you talk about API servers, I'll also be talking about Postman. You saw it here. When I forgot the username and password, I was able to get it using the Postman. That's not its main work. Its main work is to connect and test API servers. So we are going to talk sometime about API servers, and immediately we'll talk about how to use Postman. In fact, it belongs here. Yeah, there you go. API servers and Postman. And we are also going to talk about how to make JavaScript, HTML, CSS, and Bootstrap talk to the API server. This is where you build your web app. Now whenever I say on my website here, every time I say, okay, I'm gonna go ahead, for example here it says test service, I'll click on this button. Look, it says we can complain. Now some information is coming. Did you see that? Okay, let me just reload the page. So this is a code which I've written. It talks to the API server. If I click on this button, this information came from the API server. Alright, now look at this. I'll go to my Postman, and there's something called test service. Okay, I hope you can see it. And I'll call the API server, and you will see that the same message which you see on the website is coming in the Postman. So which means both of them are getting this information from the API server. So in our classes, in our sessions, we are going to discuss how to make JavaScript, HTML, CSS, Bootstrap together, because that is what makes a web app, to talk to the API server. That is where we'll be spending a lot of time. Okay, so in order to do this during the class, meanwhile, along with all these things, I'm going to be using other things as well. So let me just make a note of it. 1 second. So what else I'll be doing here in this one? So let me go ahead and like I said, I don't know how to use PowerPoint, which is why I'm copying PowerPoint and making this work. and all that. So now, along with all those things, I'll also be teaching a little bit about how to use GitHub, okay, how to commit, how to push, and all that. And to teach these classes, I'll be using something called CodePen. Okay, so I'll be teaching how to use CodePen, and I'll also be teaching how to use Visual Studio Code. Okay, I'll also be teaching a little bit of locally running web app. How do you run your web app locally using Node.js? Again, only the basic server, nothing advanced in Node.js. Okay, I'll also be showing how to deploy the web app. For example, this web app is right now online, so you can go to this website address and use it right now. You can register an account, you can create an account, log in and check it out. So how to deploy the web app to a server so you can show it to your friends, classmates, boss, or sir, ma'am, whoever you want to show it with. Okay, so because unless you deploy, you can't show it to anybody. So I'm going to teach how to deploy. We'll be deploying to the cloud. So I'll be talking a little bit about Azure web apps servers. I'll be talking a little bit about something called FileZilla, which is useful for deployment. Okay, so all these things, so this one here and this one here, these things will be discussed in these sessions and in my textbook. So I see Altaya is joining in the class. Hi Altaya, hi, hello, welcome to the class. No issues, no problem. So this is what these are the topics which we'll be covering in these sessions and in the textbook. All right, ultimately when the training is over, whether you can learn by watching these videos, or you can just go to my website and you can learn it on your own. I've written a very detailed website with a nice table of index. So whatever I'm talking, it's all there, already there. Some chapters are still not ready, but many chapters are already ready, they're in progress and so on. So ultimately, when you finish these classes and when you finish going to this website, you will be able to build this, what you see on the screen. That's it. Ultimately, I want to teach you how to build this. If you can build this, once you put the foundation of being able to build this, after this you can learn advanced JavaScript, you can learn jQuery, you can learn React.js, or if you're feeling adventurous, you can switch to Android development, you can switch to iOS development, because you have put the foundation of programming. So you learn web programming, you can remove the web and you can just become a programmer, because once you learn one language, it's very easy to learn other languages. I'm saying this from my own experience. When I started my career, I only knew C. That's it. C programming. That's it. That's all I know. Then I learned C++ on my own. Then I learned C#. Then I learned Java. Then I learned Swift. I learned web programming. I learned React. I learned jQuery. I learned JavaScript. So many languages I've learned. These are the main languages, but as and when a new project comes, I just keep learning new things, all because I learned C programming a very long time ago. So if you're starting, you start here, you learn web programming. It's very easy for you to go ahead and learn other programming languages. And API server is the same, whether you're building web apps or you're building mobile apps or you're building iPhone apps or Android apps, it doesn't matter. The API server, Postman, CRUD, these things, they're all the same. And the thinking, how people say the logic of building these things, it's all the same, whether you're using web programming or iPhone programming or Java programming or C++ programming or C# programming. It doesn't matter. Okay, so those things will be useful to you later anyway. So this is all I'm going to do now. I have a question here from Navya. She said that she's asking, is it possible to learn this as a hobby? You can learn it as a hobby. Definitely, there is nothing stopping you from learning as a hobby. Yes, you can. The simple answer is yes. You can go ahead and learn it as a hobby because programming can be fun. I mean, right now, many of us, we do have a lot of free time in our hands, so you can go ahead and definitely pick this up as a hobby. At the same time, I would like to add, if there's a professional angle to it, then you would be even more motivated because when you finish this training, you can build this, what you see on the screen right now. You can build this. If you can build this, and you can go to your professor, go to your classmate, colleague, or whoever it is, and say, you know what, I know at least how to build this. And from here, you can, where you go, it's really up to you. So this is the overview of what these sessions are going to do. And this is where I'm going to wrap it up. So I'm going to keep the chat open. I'm still here. So if you have any questions, those who are able to see me without any buffering issues, those who are able to hear me without any buffering issues, please type in your questions. I'm going to be here for at least 5-10 minutes, and then I'm going to wrap it up. So yes, any questions, please go ahead. Okay, this video will be available on Twitch. You can watch it later if you missed it. I'll also be uploading it to YouTube. So that is also going to happen. I'm just waiting if anyone has any questions and so on. And my plan is to have these classes at least 2 sessions every week. I mean, I have a lot of chapters here. If you have any questions, again, please type it in. I'm just talking, just wrapping it up. So I have a lot of chapters here. So each chapter can be 1 session, 2 session, or 3 sessions. So I want to do 2 sessions at least every week. So every week I'll do these sessions. Every week I'll Navya is saying thank you. Thank you. Welcome, Navya. So every week I'm going to conduct these sessions, and those of you who are not able to join live, I'll be Althea has a question. I'm going to answer it. Althea, so the next session, I plan to do a session every 3 days. So Friday, today is Friday. So 3 days, so that'll be, I think I'm gonna make it Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So Monday and Friday will be the sessions every week till I finish the entire textbook. I will be updating the on my Twitch schedule, so that is the best place. I'll also be updating it on LinkedIn. So that is about the schedule. That is what I plan to do here. So yes, you're most welcome. You're most welcome, Althea. No problem. So I'm ready to wrap it up here. Any other questions? Any other questions? Okay, I'm just chatting. I'm just typing as well while I'm speaking because there's a delay between the video and the chat. So chat is faster right now. So I'm ready to wrap it up here. Any other questions? Althea, if you're still online, Althea, did you have any buffering issues, or is it okay? Can you just let me know before you go? Was the video clear? Was the audio clear? Did you face any issues with watching the stream? Meanwhile, other folks who are in the video in the session, if you have any questions, type it in. I am about to Oh, thank you, Altaya, thank you, because some users, some students, they were mentioning that there were some issues. So okay, so you are not facing it. So one more person is not facing it, but two more person is facing it. So okay, I'm getting mixed feedback. So I'll check it. I'm planning to send an email to Twitch support. Just let them know this is happening. Maybe they can look into it. I'm not sure. Okay. Make my face a little bigger. You want me to make the face a little bigger? You know what? I'm gonna do it right now. Just let me know what is the best size works for you. Okay, Altia, let me know. I've increased the size. Let me know if this is okay. Is this size okay? Okay, I've just did it. It should be coming up right now on the screen. Let me let's see if it has it showed up. Yeah, there you go. Altia, let me know if this size is okay. Okay, perfect. All right, excellent. Okay, folks, anything else? I'm all set to wrap it up here. I think there are some technical issues, but I think session was okay. A couple of people had some trouble, I understand, but mostly I think it was okay. So as always, so please go ahead. Thank you for joining in. I am ending it now. More details on my Twitch account or on my LinkedIn page. So thank you very much for joining. No issues, Altaya, no problem. Happy you arrived, happy you showed up. And until next time, to all, bye.